S-Chan presents educational video lectures. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
Previous videos we have learned that how the data representation is important.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S-Chan Publishing. Link is provided in the description box.
Hello students and welcome to the S-Chan Academy. My name is Kanhaiya Jha. Now in the coming videos we'll study the different kind of calculations that we can do. So we can see here that methods of central measurement. So first in the central measurement what we can do is we can calculate the mean of the particular data. That what is the mean of the particular data. So we calculate the mean of the particular data as x1, x2 till xn. They are the data and the n is a total number of data. So what we do is we make a summation of xi from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n, and then we multiply it by the number of the particular terms. Let's take an example here. Suppose that 40, 80, 60, 90. There are four figures 40, 80, 60, 90, and then I have to calculate the mean of this. So when I want to calculate the mean of this, what I will do is I will add it 40 plus 80 plus 60 plus 90 and divide it by the number of terms. Okay, so we add it, and after adding it we will divide it by the number of terms. So it will be 40 plus 80, 120, 180, and then it will be 270 by 4. So this is the, when we calculate it, this is the particular mean. So first what we'll do is we will add all the data and we divide it with the number of terms. So mean is basically, when we calculate the mean, it's denoted by summation of xi over n. Summation of xi says that the total number of xi, we say from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n, indicates that the total number of the intervals they have. We will have to add it and then the total number of intervals here. So in the calculation of the mean, we add all the figures and divide it by the number of terms. So we can make the calculations here to calculate the mean. So suppose that this is the particular case where it is x1 is 10, x2 is 20, x3 is 30, x4 is 40, and x5 is 50. So we can see that here that x1 is 10, x2 is 20, x3 is 30, x4 is 40, and x5 is 50. So these are all the terms and we need to calculate the mean. So when we want to calculate the mean of this, then what we do is that we have to add up x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 divided by the total number of terms. So in here we can see that the total number of terms is x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. So this is the total number of terms. So when you calculate it, the value, that value is called as the mean value of this. So in summing words we can say that it's summation of xi from I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n over the total number of terms, which is n. N denotes the total number of terms, and I denotes the total number of intervals where we can add all this particular value. So we can see here that we can make the calculations like this. Then so this is the particular the mean. After the mean, we'll calculate the median, and after the median, we can calculate a particular mode. So the mean is clear. Now we'll calculate the median. The median here, suppose that here is the example given that there are intervals 20, 30, 40, and then 999. So we'll add it 20 plus 30 plus 40, then 999 divided by 4, which gives us 270. So the median of the 4 observation will be equal to what? The median of the 4 observation will be equal to, the median of the 4 observation is 30 plus 40 divided by 2 is 35, and the 3 observation lying between 20 to 40. So we can see that in the median we can make the categorization of the particular data, that after calculating the mean we are breaking the data in terms of the different categories, and then we are making the particular calculation. We can see that we have to use the different particular variables. So first of all, we have to calculate the dispersion, measure the amount of scatter in the data set, then range, variance, standard deviation, then the particular range and the coefficient of the variation. So the range is basically that what is the lower limit that we take and what is the highest limit, the upper limit. Suppose that I break this into a category 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. I am breaking this in terms of 5 students from roll number 10 to roll number 15, from roll number 15 to roll number 20, from roll number 20 to roll number 25. So I am breaking this. So there are suppose in this the age group is 10, here the age group is 12, here the age group is 13. So after this we can see that in the particular group the age group is also mentioned, that in one case the age group is 10, in one case the age group is 12, in the one case the age group is 13. So what I mean to say is that when you break it, then we can calculate the particular things. Now we will make the calculations here. Here are some definitions. Here are some definitions that we can see that range we generally require to calculate variance, we require to calculate standard deviation, we require to calculate the coefficient of the particular variance also. Okay, and when we are categorizing data from the upper limit to the lower limit, that what is the interval that we have set, that particular difference in the interval is called as a range. That will be the range of the particular data. So let's move further. So we can see here that how to calculate the variance. So first we will have a data from x1, x2 till xn, x1 minus x bar, x2 minus x bar till xn minus x bar whole square over a number of terms is n minus 1, s square is a particular variance. So let's take an example and then learn it. Suppose that the data that we have here is 10, 12, 14, 16. So the first thing that we calculate here is the mean. So the mean of the data will be 10 plus 12 plus 14 plus 16 over 4. So it is 22 plus 14, 36, 42 and 52 by 4. So the mean will be 13. So x bar is 13 and this is x1, x2, x3, x4. So we can see that here the variance can be calculated x1 minus x bar. So this is x1 minus x bar is 13, 13, 13 and 13. So we will get the result. So when we get the result, we will have to calculate the square of that. So we will calculate the square. So we have 13, 10 minus 13 minus 3, then 12 minus 13 minus 1, 14 minus 3, 1, 16 minus 3, 3. We calculate the square of this, we will get 9, 1, 1, 9. So it will be, then we will calculate the addition of all the square. So it will be 9 plus 1, 10, 11, 20, and the number of terms are 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be 4 minus 1, 3. So this is how we can calculate the variance. So we can see here that in variance x1 minus x bar and all that. So we have taken the example. Suppose that we are calculating for 5, 7 and 3. So we will calculate the mean of that first. 5, 7 plus 3 is equal to, the mean will be 5, then 5 minus 5, 3 minus 5, 7 minus 5, we'll do the squaring, and 3 minus 1. So this is called as the variance, that how we generally calculate the variance, how we take the different particular formula and take the variance. Let's take one more example of this. So let's take one more example, that x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 are the 5 particular data set, and from the 5 particular data set we have to calculate the variance. So to calculate the particular variance, first of all we have to calculate the mean. So mean will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 over 5. So here we get the mean. Suppose the mean is x bar, then the formula will be x minus x bar whole square, x2 minus x bar whole square, x3 minus x bar whole square, x4 minus x bar whole square, and x5 minus of x bar whole square. We will add all these things and then we will divide it by the number of terms, which is n minus 1. So it will be x minus of x bar, x1 minus of x bar whole square plus x2 minus of x bar whole square plus x3 minus of x bar whole square, then x4 minus x bar whole square plus x minus x5 minus of x bar whole square. Total number of terms are 5, so it will be 5 minus 1, that will be 4. So this is how we calculate the we calculate the particular variance. So we can see that we have done the same thing here, that we have multiplied the terms and then we have calculated it. So this is how we calculate the variance. We have learned how to calculate the mean, how to calculate the variance. Now we'll take a small break and then we'll calculate the standard deviation and the mode.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on AICTE curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting at your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
So before the break we have learned that how we have calculated the mean and how we have calculated the variance. So now we will study that how we will calculate the standard deviation. So the square root of variance of the deviation is basically 2 when we calculate the square root. So when we calculate the, here you can see that standard deviation, the square root of the variance, standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So whatever we are getting as a variance, the square root of that. So when you calculate the square root of that, that becomes a standard deviation. So let's again take an example that in one question, if different things are asked and how we are going to answer this. Look here. Now the question is asking that x1 is 2, x2 is 4, x3 is 6, x4 is 8, x5 is 10 and x6 is 12. Right. So the x1 is 2, x2 is 4, x3 is 6, x4 is 8, x5 is 10 and x6 is 12. Now the question is that we have to calculate mean, we have to calculate median, what we have done here, you can see that, again I will scroll it down. So the mean and then, okay, then the variance and from the standard deviation. So mean, the variance and standard deviation. Standard deviation is noted by sigma. So in one particular question, we can make all these three calculations very easily. The first step that we have to do is we have to calculate x bar. The second step that we have to do is we have to calculate for every particular value, we have to calculate x minus x bar. Then we will calculate the variance, and then the root of the variance. The root of the variance is the standard deviation. So we will make the calculation here. First we will calculate the x bar. So the x bar will be here 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So we can make the calculation 2 plus 4, 6, 6 plus 6, 12, 20, 30 and then 42 by 6. That gives us the value of x bar to be 7. So when it is x bar is 7, then we can calculate x1 minus x bar, x2 minus x bar, x3 minus x bar, x4 minus x bar, x5 minus x bar, and this. And then we can divide it by n minus 1. The total number of terms minus 1. Then we will calculate the variance, and then the root of the variance, when we will calculate the root of the variance, will be the standard deviation. So the root of the variance will be the standard deviation. So this is, so variance is 573. So mean is 5 plus 7 plus 3 by 3. So this will be calculate the variance, and then we will calculate a standard deviation. After this, we have the quartile. We can calculate the quartile. Quartile, what is a quartile? Quartile is that, as we have mentioned, the data can be divided into 4 regions that covers the total range of the observed value. Can put this region as known as quartile. So what happens here, that we are breaking the entire data in terms of the different categories. So there are 4 categories in which we are breaking the particular data. Okay, the quartile is n plus 1 by 4. So kth term. So we will n plus 1, suppose we have divided into 4 groups, then it will be 4 plus 1 divided by 4, that will be the kth data. So the first quartile is Q1, which is 25%. The second quartile is Q2, between 25 to 50. Then 25 to 50, then the Q3 is 25% of the above lying between the median and 75% in the point. So basically, when we are dividing into the 4 groups, so we are breaking this 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 till 100. So we are breaking this in terms of the 4 particular category, and after breaking them into the 4 categories, we will make the particular calculation. Quartile is a practical way of dividing a data according to the numerical calculation. That numerically we can calculate the number of terms, and then after that we can break them into the 4 categories, that from this to this. Suppose that in a class there are 100 students, we break them into 5 groups, that 20 students in each group. So when there are 20 students in each group, then there are 5 particular categories. So here we will calculate in the 4 categories. But difference is that in the first group there should be only 25%. So 25 students in one group, then 25 to 50 another group, then 25% in all, 25 students in all the group. So then we calculate the quartile value. The quartile value is given by this. As you can see that n plus 1 by 4 is the kth term. So we can easily calculate the kth term. Kth term in each case, that how we calculate the kth term in this. So we have a question is the median of the first half of the ordered observation, and Q3 is the median of the second half of the order observation. Q1, Q3. Q1 is the first half and Q3 is the third half. As we are breaking the entire data into first category, so the Q1 and Q2 will consist of the first half and then the latter half of the particular data. So if the quartile has to be calculated, we will follow the formula, and we will also follow the formula that how we will calculate the value of quartile 1, 2, 3, 4, or we will calculate the quartile. So first we will break the data in terms of their percentage, that 0 to 25, then 25 to 50, then 50 to 75, and then further, and after that we will make the calculation in terms of their numerical value. As we proceed further, we can see that how the data can be breaked and then data can be calculated. So if we see that in this video, we focus more on the calculation of mean. We'll calculate the variance. We'll calculate the standard deviation. We'll calculate the quartile. In the quartile, we will learn the formula. We learn that Q1, Q2, Q3, and then how to calculate the qth value. So what is in this video is that how that simply from the mean, that while adding all the number of terms and dividing by the number of terms, by simply calculating the mean, how we calculate with the variance, how we can calculate the variance. From the variance, when we do the square root of the particular variance, then we will calculate the standard deviation. And then again we have learned that how we have break the data into different categories, and after breaking the data in terms of different categories, how we are making the particular calculation, how we are making the calculation for the after breaking the data in terms of the different categories and all. So this is the entire calculation that we generally do. So how they are related to each other is, if the mean value is incorrect, mainly students make a mistake in the calculation, and this calculation error is taken further also. Suppose that we are making the calculation and we have a error in the calculation of the mean. So when we have an error in the calculation of the mean, then the variance will also come wrong, and when the variance will come wrong, then standard deviation and everything will come wrong. So we have to focus when we are calculating the mean. Every part of the calculation we are focused, because these are all formula oriented questions. We have to put the formula and we can get the answer. The only thing is that we have to be very careful when we are making the calculation. If one of the calculation has a mistake, that mistake will be carried forward. We have to take care that if we are not calculating the mean carefully, then there will be error in the variance. If the value of the variance is wrong, then there will be error in the standard deviation, and then again the error in the further terms and all that. So these calculations are very easy, because we can see that how easy is to calculate the mean. We have to just add up all the data and divide it with the number of terms. Once we have done it, then we can easily calculate the variance with the different particular figures, and once we have calculated the variance, then we are doing the standard deviation. We can calculate the standard deviation very easily, and then we can calculate the particular quartile value, where we can break the data into different categories. We can calculate the quartile value and all. So hope this video you have learned that from the basic calculation, so how we have done the different calculation with all this. So we have learned how to calculate mean, how to calculate the variance, how to calculate the variance, okay, and then how to calculate the quartile value. In this video, we have learned how to calculate the mean, from the mean how we calculate the variance, from the variance how to calculate the standard deviation, and after that we have learned that how to calculate the quartile factor of the given particular data. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. John Publishing. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.